Hi guys, it's 604 StarCraft. I'm here to cast Game 2 of the Zotac Cup Finals. This matchup will be between WhiteRa and Strelok again. Both players here spotting as their preferred races here. We do have Strelok as the Terran and WhiteRa here as the Protoss. So we'll see how this game progresses. If you haven't seen the first game here, do make sure you watch it. In the initial game, in the first game here, WhiteRa here was caught a bit off guard. Strelok did go for an early proxy barracks and was able to kind of do an early push with only Marauders, and the Marauders were able to take advantage of the early Zealots that WhiteRa had put on the field there. So the first game there did go to Strelok, so we'll see how the second game plays out. At this point, Strelok, you can tell already that Strelok is going for a different build here. I think mainly because of the map. It is a 4-player map, so Strelok isn't gonna go for kind of an early proxy in case he doesn't proxy up to where his opponent is. So an early supply, a standard play there by Strelok. He is going for the supply at around 10. And he is going to play, get his barracks down. So just standard play there. And we see on WhiteRa's end, he is playing fairly standard well. Is going out for the early scout. And he actually will be able to scout Strelok here right away with that early probe. And Strelok is going for the gas there as well. So both players here are playing fairly standard. And like I mentioned in the first video here, these are high level players, as you can tell by their APM. I think Strelok here is averaging around, I think he's hovering around 150. WhiteRa here is at around 100. And this is just the early game, so we'll see how this progresses and we'll keep an eye out to see if their APM stays relatively high. So at this point here, WhiteRa is going for the cybernetics core here, probably looking at maybe some 4-gate play, because he did get the cybernetics core down fairly early, and he does have his gas pumping as well. And on Strelok's end here, he did get his orbital command, and he is pumping out a couple Marines there to defend. So both players here playing fairly standard. We'll see if Strelok here uses, and he does use his first 50 energy from the orbital command for the mule. And we'll see how Strelok decides to play, if he does decide to go for a factory or whatnot. But he does get down to a tech lab. He's probably going to be dropping down a factory fairly soon, but he does go for another barrack. So we're going to see kind of a more a marine or marauder heavy army from Strelok here. He did get down 2 barracks, so this is probably going to be a much longer game than the initial game we first played. He is going for a marauder and concussive cells, so probably going to see the same marauder play we saw in the first game there. And on WhiteRa's end, we do see him putting down the cybernetics core and getting the warp gate technology. But likewise, he is putting another pylon here, kind of hiding it in the corner. So maybe we'll see the infamous WhiteRa and his Stargate play, but we'll see how that goes. At this point, WhiteRa does have 2 gateways. I'm not too sure if he's planning to pump anymore. He does have his second assimilator down, but no probes gathering it at the moment here. And he did push out with, I think, one stalker to kind of just test the front lines there. Maybe actually didn't actually go all the way there, but the stalker is actually retreating. Maybe he's expecting an early push here from Strelok. Strelok is pushing out with a small-sized army, 2 Marines and and 2 Marauders, and he actually has an SUV on the ways, which is probably going to be looking to build a bunker, pardon me. And at this point, Strelok is going for a very early push. He's got barracks and with the reactor, as well as a tech lab. So we'll see how that goes. He is going for a fairly early army push here, but this time WhiteRa is prepared. He does have 3 stalkers, and he's probably going to get more. And he does have his robotics facility kind of tucked away in the corner there. So probably going to see him pump up some immortals to kind of take care of the marauders there. So both players here kind of just bunkering down, teching up to their higher level units here. We can see here Strelok is getting his factory down. So this is probably going to be a much longer game than last time. I think we're already at the 6-minute mark here, and I think the last game there was only I think within the 7 minutes it was already finished. So we'll see how that goes. WhiteRa here is breaking down the rocks, probably looking to secure this expansion up on top here, which is fairly good. And we see on Strelok's end, he is going for a starport. Probably looking to get medevacs here because we do see him. He is upgrading the stim pack upgrade there. Not much going on for the factories there. I think just looking at this replay, I think some of the observers were just observers of the match were just kind of pinging the map there. So kind of just ignore that. WhiteRa here is securing the expansion on the higher ground, and we can see I can see that he is upgrading Zealot legs, which is a great counter to the Marauders' concussive shells. They do make your Zealots effective rather than completely useless. So good play there by WhiteRa. And he does have an early observer scout, so we will be able to kind of just check out to see what Strelok is going for right now. And Strelok is going for an M&M build, Marines, Marauders, and medevacs. Hopefully that will work out. I think against most Pro Stock players, a lot of Terrans usually like to kind of get Ghosts just for the EMP Shockwave to kind of take out the shield. So we'll see if Strelok decides to go for that build. He is also getting the combat shield for his Marine. So Strelok this game is sticking to a very heavy infantry type build. He's probably gonna should be looking to expand fairly soon. Maybe gonna get a command center fairly soon. Maybe this SUV is gonna kind of look to expand there, and we can see that I kind of missed it there. Let me just back it up just a little bit here. I think Strelok here did kind of go for a dropship, an early dropship, and I think he was kind of fended away. I'll just double check here to see. The observer was able to spot this early dropship, so good play by WhiteRa. For the Terran players out there, when you do see kind of a floaty figure or the observer, definitely do try your best to kind of maybe send a scan or whatnot to kind of get rid of it there. So WhiteRa was able to prepare for the dropship here. He was able to fend this off, so Strelok is forced to kind of retreat back there. But nonetheless, Strelok is building a fairly formidable sized army at this point. We haven't seen any tanks yet. There isn't a tech building yet on the factory, so we'll see how that progresses. I think he's looking to just kind of build more infantry at this point, and he's probably thinking to expand fairly soon. I think he is pushing out this point, and let's just see. We would just take a quick look at the unit size or unit composition. We do see that WhiteRa's unit army is fairly Zealot heavy. He does have 13 Zealots and only 3 Stalkers, so we'll see how that pans out for him. He is Strelok here is securing the gold expansion, which is very great on his end. If he is able to kind of secure this with a couple bunkers, maybe get a couple tanks in there as well, he will be able to lock that down, which will be very bad for WhiteRa. WhiteRa here is actually teching up to High Templars. His Templars here don't have the Psionic Storm yet, but they do have the feedback. So we do have a quick battle here. Strelok here is able to kind of stim back, kind of do the strong one of the Terran strength with his kind of like the ball up with all their units here. So is able to kind of push WhiteRa back here. WhiteRa did use good use of the force fields here, but at this point I'm not too sure who's going to take this battle here. It looks like Strelok is in the lead. He was able to kind of take down the army here. One main fact to keep in mind that when the Terran units kind of just ball up into that and just a little bit of micro, the army is actually very, very strong, and they're able to kind of take advantage of just kind of the balling of the unit. There's also the healing with the medevac. So WhiteRa there does GG out. He is facing a very formidable opponent there in Strelok. Strelok, as you can see, with just the Marine Marauder ball with a couple medevacs, was able to actually take out that fairly good sized army from WhiteRa. So a great game there by both players, and I'll probably be casting game 3 fairly soon, so stay tuned for that. Thanks again.